a horde of pestilential vermin led by a plague priest on plague furnace prepare to invade the territory of the Daughters of Khaine. Flanked by blood-rack Medusas, Morathi-Khaine commands a legion of blood-soaked zealots eager for battle. The Skaven host seizes the initiative and advances, plague priests beseeching the great horned rat to summon the great plagues. A vermin lord corruptor urges the rats on, and the entire swarm surges forward to claim all 3 objectives in the middle of the battlefield. A pack of gutter runners emerges from the ruins to unleash a salvo of poisoned throwing stars at the Shadow Queen, drawing first blood. While the Skaven have laid claim to the objectives, they realize they may have overextended too far into enemy territory. The monstrous Shadow Queen and Bloodrack Medusas slither forward, their horrific gaze causing mass casualties among the clan rats. To the west, the Witch Elves and Blood Sisters target the other unit of clan rats contesting the objective. On the eastern front, flocks of Heartrenders descend from the skies to outflank the Gutter Runners. The Bloodstalkers unleash a volley into the Vermin Lord, many of the arrows finding their mark. The Shadow Queen then charges headlong into the Vermin Lord, and with a series of furious strikes brings down the demonic rat before it has a chance to retaliate. The Hell Pit abomination lurches forward to pummel the Shadow Queen, but the Iron Heart of Khaine blocks much of the damage. On the western objective, clan rats are cut down in droves before the fury of the Blood Sisters, who have been empowered by dark sorcery. The Gutter Runners unleash hell and fight furiously to the last rat, managing to fell most of the Heartrenders before they themselves are killed by the charging Medusa. The Skaven have suffered severe casualties as the Daughters of Khaine close the trap on their prey. However, the rats have a nefarious plan of their own. The plague priests set their sights on the western objective and unleash a series of horrible plagues which ravage the zealots there, as the rats of Clan Pestilens prepare their counterattack. The Skaven trap is sprung, and a warp lightning cannon appears in the east to unleash a fully powered blast into a blood-rack Medusa, who only barely survives due to her fanatical faith. In another surprise move, a doom wheel comes in from the rear, unleashing a blast of warp bolts before crashing into the Bloodstalkers, before Morathi-Khaine whirls around and tears apart the contraption. Meanwhile, the Plague Furnace and Censer Bearers charge in, slaughtering all of the remaining zealots on the western objective. On the center objective, the Shadow Queen crushes the life out of the Hell Pit abomination, but the beast comes back to life to renew the titanic duel. By this point, the Skaven appear to be dominating the center of the battlefield. But the battle is far from over, and sorcerous bolts rain down on the Hell Pit abomination, killing it a second time, which frees up the Shadow Queen to attack the Plague Furnace. The Daughters of Khaine have one last surprise, as a unit of Doomfire Warlocks dashes in to attack the undefended Warp Lightning Cannon. All of the remaining Khainite heroes close in on the Plague Furnace, but the protection of the Horned Rat shields it long enough for the Great Plague Censer to slam into the Shadow Queen, and with a rending scream, Morathi-Khaine is banished along with it. The Blood-Rack Medusa struggles to damage the Great Engine, but a final volley from the remaining Bloodstalkers manages to finally stop the Plague Furnace once and for all, as it crashes into ruin. After destroying the Warp Lightning Cannon, the Warlocks continue to gallop swiftly to aid the few remaining Medusas, who are attempting to take the central objective. The Censer Bearers stumble and fail a close charge, but Skabic's Plague Pack succeeds in finishing off the final Bloodrack Medusa. The central objective has been befouled by Skabic, so in order to retake it, the Daughters of Khaine have no choice but to kill the Plague Pack guarding it. The Bloodstalkers move in for the kill, unleashing a hail of arrows before charging in and slaying the Plague Pack, retaking the objective. But this puts them in position to be surrounded by the Censer Bearers, who kill every last Bloodstalker under clouds of plague smog. In a final bid to retake the central objective, the Doomfire Warlocks charge forward, using Shadow Flame, Crossbow Bolt, and Scimitar to deal as much damage as possible before the remaining Censer Bearers fight back. In a quick but fierce struggle, the rats manage to kill off the last of the Warlocks, leaving only a handful of vermin on the battlefield. But while the Daughters of Khaine are all dead, they still manage to have the last laugh.